The Red Bulls are finally back in Salzburg. After 4 consecutive away games, Danny Röhl's team are back on home turf and eyeing a place in the UEFA Europa League. Swedish champions Mjällby gave a good account of themselves, at least after the break in the first leg, but a stoppage time own goal has set Salzburg up with a 1-0 lead to bring back here for tonight. And ultimately that was no less than the Red Bulls deserved after dominating the ball and the shot count away at Strandfallen a week ago. This tie though is far from done. A number of European qualifiers from this week have shown us that leads are never safe until the full-time whistle blows, and both sides will very much feel that it's game on for the second leg here. Mjällby can be a dangerous team. Lindberg, Bergström and Kjær all went close. Defenders Miettinen and Iqbal also played a major role last week, but the Red Bulls showed glimpses of their strength too. And the forwards will be disappointed that it took until the very end of that first leg to bundle the ball in for a precious lead. Schmidt, Barry, Baidu and Regic all put in standout performances for Danny Röhl's team in the away game. The hope now is that Salzburg can unlock some doors a lot earlier at home this evening as they look to secure that UEFA Europa League spot and the millions that come along with it in prize money, plus the 8 ties, including a potential for some real glamour ties as well. The likes of Lyon, AC Milan, Juve, Olympiacos, Marseille, Benfica perhaps as well, projected for pot 1 in the Europa League. It all looks a little bit different if you drop down to the Conference League. Tonight's referee, Ifan Pelito of Bosnia. Salzburg will start with a Bosnian striker up front as well. Danny Röhl has just made 1 change to the team which edged ahead in this tie a week ago. Karim Konate, the only new face in the Salzburg starting 11 as Jorba Vertessen drops to the bench. It is Tabakovic, the Bosnian, who had been the main man in Europe so far with 4 goals in the previous round. It wasn't really his game in the first leg. But Tabakovic will be back in the lineup tonight. Sverachnik, the young fullback who wears the captain's armband for the Red Bulls. Jesper Gustafsson, his counterpart for the Swedish champions. Gustafsson, 31 years of age. A Mjällby youth player who's been with the club for well over a decade. If anybody embodies their incredible run to the Swedish title, up through the divisions to the top of the top tier, it is the captain, Jesper Gustafsson. That's Tom Pettersson, the man who was unlucky to bundle the ball across his own goal line in stoppage time in Strandvallen. Kitano Sota was right behind him applying the pressure, but it was Pettersson who ultimately rolled the ball into his own net and gave Salzburg the lead that they hold now, coming into kick-off for the second leg. Abu Bari, a key presence in the defensive midfield department for Salzburg, really somebody who can break up attacking play when Mjällby are pushing forward, somebody who does all the basics right. Referee checks with the 2 goalkeepers that everybody is ready to go at the Red Bull Arena, and it's Mjällby in the black and yellow who will get us kicked off. Salzburg leading by 1-0 on aggregates. The second 90 minutes is upon us. The Red Bull Salzburg lineup with that one change that I mentioned. Konate in the team in place of Vertessen. Other than that, it's as you were last week. Zamierzycki in goal, Verachnik, Borma, Zabransky and Schmid, the defensive 4. Bartosz Mazurek alongside Abu Bari in defensive midfield. Bit of pressure on the goalkeeper, and Wallinder gets it away. Salzburg in white. They'll try to move down the left and maybe get something back into the box. Verachnik loops one long. It might just about stay in. Out it goes for the Mjällby goal kick. Edmund Baidu giving chase. Just to finish the 11, it's Damir Regic, Karim Konate and Edmund Baidu all sitting in behind Haris Tabakovic, the number 9. Our home fans bouncing already in Salzburg, but they would feel so much better if the Red Bulls could get an early goal here and double their advantage on aggregate, because right now the tie is still on a knife edge. I hate to use the old cliche, but it really was a game of 2 halves in the first leg. Salzburg dominated, especially in the first 45 minutes, and then Mjällby at 0-0 came out after the break and looked like a completely different team, suddenly having chance after chance. To be purely realistic though, Mjällby tested Christian Zamierzycki, the young Salzburg goalkeeper, far, far less than Robin Wallinder was kept busy. Wallinder surely with a man-of-the-match performance from whichever outlet was judging it last week. Mjällby may have had their second half chances, but Salzburg were hitting the target more often. Free kick chance to get something started here for Mjällby. It's headed back and then booted away. A throw-in over on the left is the reward for the Swedes. It's Karl Marius Axum. His 3 changes. Granat, Engord and Noren. Can they make a difference to the pattern of play? Kier, one of the danger men last week for tonight's away side, as that one is shanked out of play by Nicholas Verachnik. Mjällby take the next throw-in. They'll deliver something towards the back post. It's over everybody and out for a goal kick. Very similar to the Salzburg effort that we saw at the other end just across a piece in these opening moments. And neither one finding the head of a teammate. Just got a glimpse there of Mads Enggaard, the number 6 for Mjällby. A first start for his new club, the record signing. His first start in the Mjällby midfield. Philippe Granat and Axel Noren, as I mentioned, the other 2 changes. Abdullah Iqbal, who put in a really good shift last week, he's been dropped. Aki Samuelsen and Ole Lindberg, the other 2 players to drop to the bench tonight for Mjällby. The visitors will be really keen to see what Enggaard, that number 6, can produce for them. The 22-year-old Dane costing €1.5 million. The club's record deal came from Molde in Norway. A versatile midfield player, can play on the right. Mainly deployed in the centre though, central midfield or defensive midfield duties. Mjällby's first ever signing over the €1 million mark. Played before at Randers and Vejle in Denmark before moving to Molde. And now he'll be in Europe one way or the other with Mjällby. Salzburg looking to seal the Europa League spot, but the loser of this contest will still drop into the Conference League phase. As far as European playoffs go, this one in the Europa League, far less black and white, a bit less pressure than the Conference League playoffs, where you're out of Europe altogether. As Salzburg's Austrian rivals Rapid know all too well, they lost to Hearts of Scotland on penalties last night, and they were the first team in the Conference League qualifiers to be knocked out. No European football for Rapid. And it is Rapid who opted to cancel or postpone at least their Bundesliga match against Salzburg for this weekend. Salzburg with a break between the first and second legs of this time. Mjällby as well, with nothing else as a distraction between these 2 games. That game between Salzburg and Rapid now postponed until the 2nd of September. It'll come around quickly. It was the postponement of that fixture actually that made it 4 consecutive away games for Danny Röhl's team. The last round in Europa League qualifying against Paphos was switched as well in terms of home and away rights because of the UEFA Super Cup taking place right here at the Red Bull Arena in Salzburg. And that meant with Bundesliga fixtures in the calendar too, it was 4 consecutive away games. Now finally back at home for 3 in a row, no less. Tonight's game against Mjällby. And then the 2 Vienna Bundesliga clubs, Austria and Rapid, will visit the Red Bull Arena over the next couple of weekends. It's one to chase, but it's going to be knocked all the way back towards Sarashitsky. Calm pass out to the left. Bit of room over on the right now for the Red Bulls. It's Konate lurking over on the right flank. It will go left instead. Watch out for Recic, who's making his way into the box alongside Tabakovic. Salzburg driving forward. The referee has to dart out of the way. Here is Konate. Drops it off. A little ricochet gets it back to Ferachnik. Salzburg still going here. It's Recic over on the right hand side. Worked a bit of magic from that right flank in the first game, and he's done it again this time. That square ball had to be cut out on high alert by the Mjällby defence. First little glimmer of an opening for the Red Bulls in Salzburg. Well, you could only really describe Recic's first leg performance as that of a live wire. Definitely somebody who doesn't mind taking on the defender one-on-one. Had a couple of dangerous shots on target. Forced Wallinder into action in the Mjällby goal a couple of times in the first leg. And he beat players down on that right flank, down towards the byline, just as he did there. Evidenced again, even though Mjällby know the danger, they couldn't stop him. Crosses an early one this time. Tabakovic was not tall enough to get onto it, but we'll give it the applause anyway, because it's earned Salzburg this corner. How much pressure can Salzburg put Robin Wallinder under from this dead ball situation? We're into the 10th minute of the contest. 0-0 on the night, 1-0 Salzburg on aggregate. Nicholas Verachnik over to take the corner. Mazurek is in there. Plenty of white shirts in there. They'll go short. Out it comes to the edge of the box, and it's curling high, but too high. And Wallinder knew it. He was never going to get down from the boot of Damir Regic. Salzburg still in the hunt for that early goal here. It's headed away, but it should be picked up by Mjällby over on the right. It's a clever ball down the right-hand side, but was just asking a little bit too much, really. Too high and too long. Former the recipient of the ball along the turf from Zawierzycki. He'll send it long over the halfway line. Mjällby win the header. It's back in the Salzburg defence straight away. Can Salzburg be the ones to get that opening goal and calm the nerves? They've got the advantage on the scoreboard, but it was so hard fought over at Strandvallen a week ago. An efficient Salzburg could have made life a little bit easier. And that one's going to bounce back to the keeper, Regic. Again, heavily involved, but it looked as though it could have been more for Salzburg. The ball over the top initially had the Mjällby defence in a little bit of trouble. Never really settled down for Regic, though. Pass out. It's too hard. Salzburg will get it back in the box. Shooting chance. Maybe it's a pass instead. Well, it was a selfless option from Haris Tabakovic. But maybe the striker should have done what he does best and have a go at goal. Well, it was the Salzburg pressing that won that ball back off Mjällby. They forced the pass to be taken too quickly. And the pass out from defence came in with far too much power. The ball squirmed loose, and Tabakovic suddenly had it in the penalty area. A let-off for the Swedish visitors. Back it goes to Wallinder. Gustafsson, the captain, flips it over to the right-hand side and finds the target this time. Good solid positioning, good management from Salzburg. Just to force Mjällby back, they'll have to go for the long one, and again it's too long. And there's no hope of picking that up over on the left flank. Haris Tabakovic. First man to have a really good opening in the box tonight. He didn't have a great angle to work with. You can see why he felt that the ball across the middle towards Baidu would have been the better option. Abu Barry. He's got Bouma on the right. He's going to use Kevin Bouma. Fidachnik in that advanced position down the right-hand side. They might try and find him on the overlap. This one's going to zip off the turf. Both teams having trouble getting these to spin back and hold up. Turf looking in good condition at the Red Bull Arena. Maybe a bit too good at the moment. Everything just zipping off and out for goal kicks. It's Valinda to take it. The defensive header plays into Mjällby's hands for now. Engord. Little passing triangle. Gustafsson, the captain, drops it back. Engord again. And this time the triangle only finds the white shirts of Salzburg. The home side move forward. Crowd in Salzburg get a little louder. Is there a good delivery into the box to come from somebody? Fidachnik has space. Tabakovic battling in the centre. Redzic waiting. Comes to Fidachnik. Onto the left foot. Plays the simple, safe pass. Salzburg keep possession. Not willing to give it away for a shot with maybe a low percentage of making something happen. A few wires crossed there, but the Red Bulls keep hold of the ball. We're a quarter of an hour in. It remains goalless in the second leg. Salzburg's slender lead hasn't been challenged yet. Pass is going to be picked off and maybe a counter opportunity for Mjällby. Great challenge. Fidachnik wasn't going to allow that to happen. Mjällby didn't strike forward at speed, having won the ball back. William Granat will take the throw. He was too slow to get away from Fidachnik despite the good work to pick off the pass initially. Early days to be thinking of a clean sheet for Salzburg, but in 7 games so far in this campaign, 4 clean sheets for Danny Röhl's side. Valentin Zabransky, the young defender, was praising the team's mentality of going for these clean sheets and getting them. Unsurprisingly, everybody at the club really keen to keep that up. Pettersson penalised. It'll be a Salzburg ball. It was Abu Barry who just nipped across in time, took the ball off the toes of Tom Pettersson. He'll be so fired up to make a difference in this second leg, having scored the only goal in the opener, and for Salzburg no less, against his own team. No question really of fault. A square ball across the box, right into the danger zone, with Kitano waiting to tap it in, and Pettersson got there first. Valinda, the goalkeeper, was beaten, and it just trickled over the line for Salzburg's all-important go-ahead goal. And here now they look for the goal in the second leg. The ball across the box will stay alive on the other side. Fidachnik chips it back over. Mazurek might have earned a corner. It's going to stay in play, but at what cost for Mjällby? Mazurek tries to pick out a teammate. He's headed clear. Barry exchanging passes. Zabransky sends it wide. Cross into the middle. Tabakovic is there. Valinda gets a touch to get it away. Salzburg win it back quickly again. Plenty of pressure building on the Mjällby defence right now. Great footwork. Can Salzburg turn this into a shooting opportunity? Fidachnik again, the outlet. Well, at times when Salzburg are on the attack, it looks like a training game. Picking their passes, finding teammates. It's just about unlocking that defence, finding that gilt-edged opening to have a good go at goal. Salzburg starting to dominate. With Edžić wants it long over on the right-hand side. Goes into Verachnik instead. Was he pulled down? The referee says yes, he was. And Irfan Peljuto is going to reach for the card for the first time this evening. Viktor Gustafsson into the referee's notebook. Well, the arm around the neck of the Salzburg captain. There wasn't too much force in it. But he can't be too surprised, in all honesty, to find himself picking up the game's first yellow card. So we've seen the odd Salzburg ball into the box, we've had a corner. What about this chance? Edžić standing over the free kick. It's the right-footed option instead, and the header is looping up and over. It was Mazurek with the delivery. In the end, no way to keep it down. Karim Konate would really love a goal. Hasn't started the season too badly in the Bundesliga. 2 goals in 3 Bundesliga appearances. He's yet to get off the mark in Europe this season, Konate. Still only 22 years of age, the Ivorian. Somebody who's been around at Red Bull Salzburg for a long time now. Now Zamierzycki, with his first call to action of the day, has to get out to the edge of the box and win that, which he does. Gets the ball away cleanly, and Verachnik has it now. Well, it was nearly something out of nothing for Mjällby. That's exactly the kind of thing they're looking for in this first half. Pressure all going one way at the moment. But Mjällby's heads won't drop. Certainly not while it's 0-0 on the night. Boma. Back it goes to Zamierzycki. Expected goals in that first leg, by the way. It doesn't really matter how much stock you put in them, but it's clear to see Salzburg up at 2.5 expected goals from the first leg. Mjällby themselves mustering 1.5. They certainly could have had a goal of their own in the first leg, that's for sure, but Salzburg, as everybody who watched the game knows, should have had more. As Granat has got himself into trouble. Here's the next one to pick up a yellow card, and it's Verachnik again, who's been too fleet of foot. They're thinking a little bit too quick from the Red Bull captain. Salzburg are caught once again, and another caution. Gustafsson and Granat both in the notebook of referee Peljuto now. And at some point, those do start to weigh down on you a little bit. Too many players who have to tread carefully. It doesn't really help in the key moments. Another free kick. Yes, it is. Is it going to be another caution? I don't think so this time. Not with the way that referee Irfan Peljuto walked over to it. You can tell from the gait of a referee, the way they stride over to the spot sometimes. And they're about to brandish that card. Not so this time. It was Baidu's good work this time that earned Red Bull Salzburg another set-piece opportunity. Bartosz Mazurek waiting for it. Good start to the season for Mazurek, by the way. The 19-year-old Pole is featured in every game so far for Salzburg this season, as Valinda is able to get across to his left and make a decent grab high out of the air. Plucks the ball away before anybody can head it back across the face of goal. Play switched from Mjällby, but it was initially unsuccessful, and Salzburg will try and pick this one off. Verachnik was moving forward, gets back into position at the right time to win it back. Now it's laid off by Tabakovic. He's turned. Tabakovic continues to run forward down the middle. The pass just a little bit too far to the left. Konate trying to link up with his strike partner Haris Tabakovic. Close but no cigar. Midway through the first half, it remains Red Bull Salzburg 0, Mjällby 0. 1-0 the aggregate scoreline in favour of Salzburg. The winner of tonight's tie goes into the UEFA Europa League phase. The loser will drop down into the Conference League phase. It's not confirmed yet. Depends on who else gets through, but at the moment, Red Bull Salzburg, if they are to go through into the UEFA Europa League, they'd play as FC Salzburg and they would be seeded probably in the second pot. Could be pot 2 or 3, but looking most likely to be pot 2 if they get through, and that means a couple of teams from the likes of Bayern 04, Milan, Juve, Olympiacos, Lyon, Marseille, Real Sociedad. AZ of the Eredivisie, the other team projected for pot 1. Benfica could be in there too. But if you were to pick out Juventus perhaps, maybe Bayern 04, German champions just a couple of years ago, the Europa League phase lineup can read like a Champions League lineup for some teams. It's headed forward up to the edge of the box. Verachnik, who's been all over the shop tonight, in a good sense, covering every blade of grass down that right-hand side in both attack and defence. And that is a cynical foul over on that left-hand side. Now, Nielsen got away with one before, and I think he's gotten away with one again. Walking a tightrope a little bit, Max Nielsen. More good signs for Danny Röhl and Salzburg, though. They're giving these Mjällby players a tough time on both left and right flank. What about through the middle? What about that incisive edge to cut through and create the game's first big opening? We're still waiting for that. More than halfway through the first half now. Salzburg establishing their dominance on the ball, but looking a little bit toothless. 70% possession for the Red Bulls, much like in the first leg. Pretty much identical to the first leg, actually. But it doesn't mean too much unless you can start peppering Robin Wallinder's goal with shots. Hasn't been the case yet. Maybe have the throw. Granat, who's come onto this left-hand side, is going to take it. Regic waiting over there too. Nielsen couldn't bring it under control. Salzburg take the throw in quickly. Good clever play, good alertness from the Red Bulls. Now a driving run down towards the byline. What about the ball across? It's met down at the near post by Robin Wallinder. Tabakovic was waiting to turn it in from deep inside the 6-yard box, but Wallinder could turn it behind. Corner ball, Red Bull Salzburg. Look at that turn of pace and the ball down to the near post. There were other options. Well, it was a close one. Schmidt over to take the corner. No real rush. Verachnik waiting on the near side. Plenty of movement in the middle. It's headed away. Crucially, Mjällby in the black and yellow pick up the loose ball on the edge of the box. Good play to escape the Salzburg press this time. It's a good challenge as well. Not so much the second one, though. It's Ingold. It's taken out in the end. just went one way then the other. Farachnik thought he was going to turn left and rather blocked down to that side. In the end, he dropped the shoulder and went the other way. Engord looks long. Nielsen battling for it. Schmidt maybe with the last touch. Engord drives the team forward this time. They'll be getting some shirts in the box for a change. The block will come back their way. The Swedes look down the right-hand side once more. We're into the 30th minute of the game. Mjällby still looking for their first opening of any kind, really. Salzburg haven't created anything big. They've been camped on the edge of the final third for large portions of this game. Mjällby now a chance to skip forward. Can they create something from an opportunity that fell their way? Jakob Bergström, the striker, he felt that that was a Mjällby corner kick that was going to be coming, maybe more in hope than in expectation. He trotted into the box, turned around as if to look towards the corner flag. They do get changed these days. If a corner is given incorrectly, you do see them get reversed before anything is taken, but the officials obviously felt that nothing untoward had happened this time around. Salzburg have taken the goal kick, and the ball's back with Granat down in the corner. And now Tom Pettersson sends it back towards Miettinen in the defence. It's floated long, almost an effort to try and catch out Zabieszewski, but the young shot stopper was safely back inside the Salzburg box. I'm sure it won't have escaped your notice this week that LASK, the Austrian champions, the league rivals of Red Bull Salzburg, well, they completed one of the most remarkable Champions League playoff comebacks of all time, beating Celtic of Scotland from 4 goals down. Now, there are reasons to mention that. Austria against Scotland, a key battle in the coefficient race. Sweden right in the mix there as well, in the high teens. So an Austrian victory tonight if Salzburg were to get the win in the second leg. It does the whole of Austria good. It earns points in the coefficient for other Austrian Bundesliga teams. It makes life easier for Salzburg as well next year, potentially, in terms of the qualification battle. Now a shooting chance from the edge of the box. Wallinder at full stretch. Suddenly, the doors open for Salzburg to have a look at goal. And Abu Barry draws a fine save from Robin Wallinder. Konate waiting down the left-hand side. Baidu went instead into the middle. Abu Barry was there in the D. Didn't take long to have a think about it. That would have nestled inside the post, I'm sure. Wallinder flying across to his right to turn it behind for a corner. Best moment of the match so far. The half-an-hour mark just gone. Salzburg with the first big highlight of this second leg. Farachnik over to take the corner. It's floated towards the front post, flicked on. Not sure whether it hit a Salzburg player or it came off a Mjällby shoulder actually in the end. That's given away. Won back quickly though. Baidu. A little bit optimistic with the drive towards the byline, but he'll get the ball again, Edmund Baidu. Kevin Buma. Regic tried to thread something into the box, but there were too many black and yellow shirts around there. The other reason that I mentioned Lask's victory over Celtic, as remarkable as it was, before the shot from Abu Barry, the other reason was because it might have a knock-on effect. Nothing official from the team yet, but Salzburg have been linked with Vidas Ginetis, the 22-year-old midfielder at Torino in Italy. Was also heavily linked with a move to Celtic, but the rumour mill suggests now that with Celtic not qualifying for the Champions League despite their 3-0 lead after the first leg, the move for Ginetis may be off, and Salzburg perhaps taking pole position in that particular race. Just rumours, nothing official from the club. That was lofted up by Borma. Zawierzycki takes control. We've got just about 10 minutes left until the interval here at the Red Bull Arena. It's still Salzburg 0, Mjällby 0. Salzburg continue to lead by a 1-0 on aggregate. The prize on offer, a place in the UEFA Europa League. That brings with it multiple millions of euro. Around about €5 million, the prize money between the qualifiers and then the league phase starting money in the Europa League. But the way the TV money and the prize pots are distributed at the end of the campaign, if Salzburg, for example, were to get into the UEFA Europa League, win a good bunch of games, get through into the knockout rounds and go long in the competition, that starting money of around €5 million could easily be trebled, perhaps even more. The attack breaks down the right-hand side now. Regic looking for support in the middle. Might go it alone as well. Regic takes aim with the curler towards the back post. But it was always ballooning up and away off the left boot. It was curling way up and above the goal frame on Robin Valinder, the Mjällby shot stopper. It's a real asset to his game, Regic, the ability to go one way or the other. Really happy to cut back onto his left foot. Equally happy to drive past the defender and down towards the byline. He's just got to find that end product, whether it's cutting the ball back to a teammate, finding a shot that hits the target. More aspects of his game to work on. Salzburg keep it here, 4 forward in white. Baidu down the left, across the middle, but nobody can touch it in the 6-yard box. Danny Röhl's hands slapped to his side in disappointment. Tabakovic was there, Regic was there. It was an opportune break for Salzburg. The ball fell kindly as 4 of them were piling forward. But when Baidu got it across, Tabakovic, who may have been just offside actually, was unable to get a touch. And again, Salzburg from a promising position, they just can't find the right final ball. Pressure on is applied really quickly again. That's a real Red Bull Salzburg trademark, of course. Danny Röhl, somebody schooled in the Red Bull ways, knows what kind of football the team want to play here, knows what the fans want to see. Football DNA in Salzburg here is press high, win that ball back quickly, don't give the opposition defenders any time on the ball to decide what they're going to do with it, and build up slowly from the back. And then when you do win the ball, look for that incisive pass. Salzburg have had a lot of possession, but it's not because they're trying to play the possession game per se. They're just dominating in the midfield. They've kept Mjällby very, very quiet over the 2 legs. Just that one really good spell in the second half of the first game, where for 10 or 15 minutes Mjällby looked very, very dangerous. Even then, though, the goal of Zawierzycki was well protected. What about now? Mjällby with a bit of room for Engord. Thought he could have looked more towards the penalty area there. Opted to drift out to the right-hand side again and brought the Salzburg defenders back into play. Good ball into the box. Turning and twisting, but can they find somebody in the middle? It's looped up and over Zawierzycki, but way past the Salzburg goal, and there was nobody anywhere near that. Really disappointing ball across from the Mjällby perspective. Can Salzburg get it away? Not without the linesman. Down in front of the dugouts, raising his flag for offside, he can't. William Granat over to take a throw in. Gustafsson might get it back, but Granat is tackled. Peterson. Ball one back. Is there something on the counter now for Red Bull Salzburg? Good foot in, just in the nick of time there. Mads Enggaard doing a good job. Settling well with Mjällby, who are struggling in the Allsvenskan this season. Yes, they may be champions from last season, as just about every outlet has covered their fairy tale run to the title. It's a team from a tiny coastal village, really. The fact that they've mixed it with the biggest teams in Sweden with far more financial muscle, it really is very, very impressive. It would be no disgrace at all for Mjällby if they were to drop into the Conference League. In any case, Europa League or Conference League, it's Mjällby's first ever European campaign. So history being made by the Swedes, whatever happens tonight. I mentioned the prize money on offer for the Europa League. When you consider that Mjällby have their record signing out there on the field tonight, Enggaard with a transfer fee of 1.5 million euro. And you consider that even Conference League phase participation brings with it well over 3 million euro, plus the money from these qualifiers. You're looking at 4 or 5 million already. And for a team with that as their record transfer, that can really alter the course of the next few years. Miettinen, the Finn, sportingly helping Karim Konate back to his feet. Part of me is surprised, really, not to see Miettinen alongside Iqbal again tonight. The defensive duo caused a few issues going forward as well, actually. Hitting the crossbar, going close to the Salzburg goal from set pieces and the like, and putting in a real shift in defence. But the Mjällby defence will have to be alert again here. Good run forward. Now what about the cross? Tabakovic, it's behind him, and it was too far forward for Regic. And again, the ball into the box is where it breaks down for the Red Bulls. That has been a clear theme throughout these first 45 minutes, and I'm sure Danny Röhl is getting a little frustrated with it too. Good work down the flanks, and again good work down the flank. What about this time? Down to the byline. Can they finally find a cut back to somebody in white? The answer is no. Salzburg throw though, taken quickly. Maybe a Salzburg free kick. Referee has a think. Irfan Pelleto signals against Max Nielsen. Free kick Salzburg. There's Barry, who skipped past the challenge. There wasn't all that much in it from Max Nielsen, but he stuck out a hand. Made sure that Barry wasn't getting past. He did so illegally. The 21-year-old Dane has conceded another dangerous opportunity from a dead ball for Red Bull Salzburg. Zabransky up there this time, adding to the attack. Tabakovic in there. Borma, the defender, in there too. Schmid is forward. Verachnik to take. It's low, and it's parried away by the keeper. It's given back though. Can Salzburg win this one? Can they bring it under control? Edmund Baidu scoops it into the box. The header is glanced down towards the far post, but it's down and wide away from the target. Well, a second good chance for Salzburg. And it's another pretty neat parry from Robin Wallinder, you have to say. He's been brilliant over this playoff. Mjällby getting forward. Into the box they go. It's a good turn. It's poked away, but Mjällby will keep hold of it here. Well, there's just that reminder, isn't there, that no matter how dominant Salzburg are, until they increase this lead on aggregate, until they get something to go ahead tonight here in Salzburg, Mjällby remain right in this tie. They might not have much of the ball, they might not be creating many chances, but it doesn't take many. It just takes one thing to fall the right way, and potentially Marius Axum and his team could be level on aggregate, back in the game. Salzburg did win their last Bundesliga fixture by 3-0 against VSG Tirol, but there has been a bit of an issue with killing off games this season. This is a great driving run forward, and surely the stoppage there was illegal from Jakob Bergström. I think he knows it. He's going to end up in the book. Great work from Bartosz Mazurek. He really looks like somebody who's going to feature as a big part of the first team under Danny Röhl this season. He's only 19, Mazurek. Still a new signing, still a fresh player, but he's right at the forefront of Danny Röhl's thoughts, that's for sure. Mazurek featuring again, and he's going to take this free kick. He's going to play it short. It's going to be hammered towards goal from distance. It was dipping and swerving, and the referee, I think, has signalled for a corner as well. Ferachnik trying his luck from range. Who did it touch on the way through? Didn't see any contact there. Maybe the fingertip of the keeper. Maybe just a flick on it from Valinda. We're at the end of the one additional minute. Salzburg have a corner, maybe to finish off the first half. Schmidt to take. Left-footed, in swinging, headed away from the 6-yard box. Volleyed up into the air, and that will be the end of the first 45 minutes from the Red Bull Arena in Salzburg. Again, they can't quite kill off the tie. They haven't found the net in the first 45 minutes, despite dominance on the ball, despite creating far more chances than Mjällby have mustered. Salzburg have kept the Swedish champions quiet so far, but still it's 0-0 on the night, and Salzburg lead by just 1-0 on aggregate. Valinda with another couple of good saves, continuing his great form from the first leg in the Mjällby goal. Barry forcing a diving save just after the half-hour mark, which Valinda tipped away, and then Ferachnik's low free kick parried away from the near post. A couple of good saves down at that near side from Robin Valinda. And in the end, Salzburg have not been able to double the aggregate lead. It is still anybody's game. Salzburg still dominant, but they need to find the efficiency in front of goal in the second half. Don't go anywhere. It remains Salzburg leading by 1-0 against Mjällby over the two legs.
Die Mädels haben sich durchgesetzt. Die sind immer noch die gleiche heute. Leider seit 4 Jahren. Okay, aber sie war nicht gesund, warum wir uns das Spiel aufgehört. Ist sie heute auch im Stadion? Leider nicht, aber bei den Fahrzeugkräften da wo sitzt der Papa? Da oben. Happy Birthday, wie heißt er? Hannes. Lieber Hannes, alles Gute zum Geburtstag. Hannes, frag jetzt die 1000 Euro, und dann geht's für das. Ist das ein Ding? Bitte? Du machst die 1000 Euro, dann geht's mit Papa gut ist. Das ist ein Deal, ja? Da geht's ja auch noch nicht aus. Du darfst den Ball auflegen. Oder soll der Florian anfangen? Okay, der kann nicht hochgehen. Das habe ich schon gemerkt. Also, Ball aufgelegt. Fußball-Turning, wir müssen auf die Plane im Mittelkreis. Wir sind bereit. Lieber Florian, auf die Plätze, fertig los. Nimm dir die Zeit raus. Da gibt es den Rasen links, aber der Hart. Wir sind bereit für Gut, du hast völlig recht. Und was versucht der zweite Hälfte Unternehmen, damit das Feuer wieder zurückkommt? Einfach das Beste geben. Ein Applaus für die Reise für die Florian. Jungs, danke euch. Und die Proben, die Eingangsfrage behalten wir uns. Und wir machen uns gleich wieder bereit für die zweite Hälfte. Und dann aber so denken wir auch in das Feuer. Wenn es ein Feuerzeug nicht hat, entzündet es. Es hat sehr, sehr vieles gepasst, angefangen beim Ballbesitz, aber auch die Torschüsse, die eine klare Breite sprechen. Wir waren spiellich nicht das Einzige. Die Torschüsse angesprochen, das sind die Tore, das ist das Feuer, das wir jetzt entzünden wollen. Wir schauen ganz kurz in die Statistikabteilung und die zeigt uns, wir hatten nicht nur mit 62 zu 38% mehr Ballbesitz, wir hatten auch deutlich mehr Schüsse am Kickvorteil. 7:0 und aufs Tor davon gingen 2:0. Das aber nur die Statistik aufs Torvorteil wäre noch 1:0. Das soll sich ändern, liebe Fußballfreunde. Und ich diese Punkte umgespielt, damit wir das Feuer haben und damit läuten wir sie ein. Liebe Fußballfans, ihr könnt doch abstimmen. Wer ist euer Sieger?
In terms of regulation time, we are 3/4 of the way through this playoff tie between Red Bull Salzburg and Mjällby of Sweden. It's the Mjällby goalkeeper, Robin Wallinder, who has kept his team in this contest so far. Salzburg still unable to find a way past Wallinder. The only goal of this tie, the late Tom Pettersson own goal in the first leg at Strandvallen. Salzburg have had the chances. They've dominated possession again, just as they did away from home. But they cannot find a way through. They cannot find a way to kill off Mjällby at the moment. 7 shots from Salzburg in the first half, 2 of those on target. Mjällby mustering up neither a shot on goal at all, or anything really to test Christian Zawieszczycki. There were a couple of moments that you felt that something might just break their way. Still very much alive in this. It's only 1-0. Can Salzburg turn this around? Can Mjällby come back into this and force extra time? Of course, that's still a possibility tonight. The game could go long beyond the 90 minutes. If Mjällby can come back, there's a possibility of extra time and penalties. For now though, Danny Röhl will be willing on his team to go and win this in normal time. They still lead by a goal to nil. I feel it should be more. The referee's whistle means that we're underway for the second half in Salzburg. It's the Red Bulls who begin with the ball. It's flicked back inside. Salzburg will take over again though. Barry spreads it across the right hand side. 4 Salzburg players, 5 in the box now. How about an early breakthrough right after the interval? That would be just the tonic for Danny Röhl and his team. No way through this time. Salzburg all the way back towards Christian Zawieszczycki, the man in blue. 4 clean sheets from 7 this season. Hasn't been tested at all tonight. No danger to that clean sheet so far. If it does remain goalless like this, Mjällby will eventually have to try and turn up the heat, even if it leaves a lot more room in behind. The onus is on them to go and get the goal. But it's Salzburg who look like the team who really want it more. Wallinder, the hero of this tie so far. 2 really strong stops in the first half. Another good block down at his near post as well, but he acrobatically got across to his right at full stretch to deny Barry from the edge of the box. And a clever low free kick from Nicholas Verachnigg, the Red Bull Salzburg captain. That was parried away with a decent low save. Well, that's a thumping clash between the 2 players. Referee signals play on as Mjällby have possession. Well, there were a few hand signals as though Salzburg were about to put the ball out of play. Everybody back up and running for Mjällby. We'll have a look through the bench now for the visitors. Salzburg will start from the back once again. Looking at the Salzburg bench, I wouldn't be at all surprised to see Kitano Sota come on at some point in this second half. Abubakar Kamara as well. Pretty good chance that he'll come on to relieve somebody in the attack later on tonight. Jobber for Tessen as well could be called upon. We did see the debut at Red Bull Salzburg of Umut, the 22-year-old German. Played just under 10 minutes in the first leg at Strandvallen. Buzzed around out there, Toimchu. Made a nuisance of himself and was on the field when Salzburg got that all-important goal that still separates the two teams right now. So an impressive start, even if it was a really brief cameo from Umut Toimchu. Maybe he'll get back on in this second leg. Zabransky wins the header. It's brought down well. What can Baidu do from this position? He's found a pocket of space to run into. Sends it across. It's going to come back out left. Matarek flicks it casually over to the right. Regic driving towards the box. Regic. Salzburg could really use a moment of magic. 2-0 wouldn't be safe, of course, but it would feel a whole lot safer than this 1-0 feels. The way the tie's panned out so far, you'd feel that 2-0 would be a real ask for Mjällby. It's going to ricochet away, but Toni Miettinen hooks it clear. It's a throw-in rather than a corner. Miettinen with 4 senior Finnish international caps. Got his first goal for Finland as well against Hungary in a friendly this summer. Stood out in defence in the first leg. Being kept busy again tonight, Toni Miettinen. Mjällby get it downfield from the boot of Valinda. Flick on header won by Nielsen. Konate spreads play, it's cut back into the centre. Nice idea. Wires crossed briefly. Salzburg have it back anyway. They've done really well tonight at winning that ball back quickly. And again, Mjällby take over and Salzburg immediately have it back. Baidu looks so good on the ball. And Barry, not bad either with the spin and the turn. I've criticised Salzburg's lack of efficiency in front of goal over these 2 legs, but they'll come again. There is a pretty lengthy injury list of senior players as well that Danny Röhl has to contend with right now. It's only fair to point that out. Franz Kretzig, you feel he may well have been in the starting lineup. Somebody who's proven that he can open doors from time to time with good vision for a pass down in the final third. Now there's space to get into that final third. The ball threaded through, off target. Konate cutting a frustrated figure. The body language said it all after he put the pass in the wrong position. I think he expected the drop of the shoulder and the movement to go the other way. Baidu. This time it's him with the drop of the shoulder. Corner ball Salzburg. Nielsen has to put it behind. Salzburg are missing Diabate. Johannes Boza, one of the stars of the Under-17 World Cup run for Austria last year. Really eagerly anticipating Moser and what he can do in the senior side over the coming years. But at the moment, all of those players out unavailable. Soumaila Diabate was injured in the game against Paphos at home. Red Bull Salzburg corner. Can it be the moment? And it wasn't far away, you know. It would have been simple, but it would have been effective. Zabransky's near post header. Finally, Salzburg gets somebody on it. All sorts of pushing and shoving in the 6-yard box. Did it deflect away off Pettersson? There wasn't much there, but the referee saw it. Good spot from the officials this, and Salzburg will have another chance. They went close with the last one. This one cleared up to the edge of the box, and the touch might lead to a Mjällby counter. 3 of them across the halfway line. Make it 6 now, but the pass is not good enough. And Salzburg take over again with very little trouble, really. Well, Zabransky's header from that corner was very, very low-key, but it was nearly as direct as that. It's just a reminder to Salzburg, as well as to Mjällby, that it doesn't need to be fancy. Simple corner into the mixer that was from Schmid. And Zabransky very nearly planted the header down and inside the near post. Wasn't to be. Salzburg ball though. Referee urging Schmid to get on with it, which he duly does. And the ball's booted over to the other side. The switch of play and the early cross into the middle, headed away. Salzburg keep pushing and probing. Nothing as of yet for the home crowd to cheer about though. The solace is that Salzburg are still ahead. They still have their noses in front in this two-legged tie. The prize for winning tonight, a place in the UEFA Europa League draw that takes place in Monaco on Friday. Baidu stands up against Peterson, gets the pass away to the corner of the box. Bartosz Mazurek. Plenty of fleet footwork, but Mjällby are adept at getting plenty of players behind the ball. Legic brings it down really well. Can't wriggle away though from the challenge. That's won back nicely. Bourma stood his ground there. Knew when to drop back. Let the opposition come to him. Got the challenge just right. First change of the night to be made. Mads Engel, the record signing. He's the one to be withdrawn, and Ole Lindberg will come on for Mjällby. Lindberg, definitely one of the players who impressed for Mjällby in that good second half spell in the first leg. Bit of a surprise for me that the 18-year-old wasn't included in the starting lineup tonight, but maybe the boss felt that a bit more experience was going to be useful away at the Red Bull Arena. But perhaps now is the time. Mjällby have kept themselves alive in the contest. Now they need to turn from the back foot to the front and try and peg Salzburg back. Lindberg, at just 18 years of age, he only got his first couple of senior goals for Mjällby the other week in a game against Sirius. They've had some incredible matches against Sirius this season, by the way. A 4-4 draw not that long ago, and a 4-3 win, having been 3-0 down a couple of weeks ago. Lindberg it was with 2 of those goals. Now Salzburg into the box. Tabakovic, he's got it round the keeper, and it's laid back. There's still no finish from Salzburg. Konate got it caught in the feet. The through ball was the incision that Salzburg have been looking for. They've been waiting for that moment. A touch from Valinda actually kept that on the pitch for Tabakovic. It might have just run out of play, but it stayed in, and it was back towards Karim Konate, and he couldn't connect properly with it. Now Mjällby down at the other end. We've seen that a few times now. Salzburg have a chance, and Mjällby have a little glimmer of something themselves as an immediate riposte. Now the visitors trying to carve out their first opportunity. They'll have a shot from distance, and it's something. Samishitsky behind it, but it is the first time all night after 58 minutes that he's been called upon to actually make a save for Salzburg. It's not really one for the highlight reel for the Swedish champions, but it's certainly in the something to build on category. Danny Röhl knows that the opposition are going to grow as this game goes on. That's a good ball in. Tabakovic feels that he was bundled to the turf by Tom Pettersson. Referee Van Pellietol was not having any of it. Well, the hands were both around him there. Bit of a bear hug from Pettersson. Is there something to be looked at there for the video assistant referee, perhaps? This is where Tabakovic, the Bosnian, can have a quick word with Van Pellietol in his own language. The referee confirming that nothing's going to come here for Salzburg. We're into minute 60. It remains a tie on a knife edge. Extra time and penalties very much possible. Mazurek picks out the pass. Konate. He's only going to feel good going off with a goal now, Konate, having missed the chance that was laid back for him by Tabakovic a moment ago. Here goes Salzburg again, cross-blocked, corner ball. Finachnik hasn't quite been as impactful as he was in the first half. Another change for Mjällby. It's the end of the day for Nielsen. Had a bit of trouble in the first half defensively. So Nielsen off. Martin Agnason of the Faroe Islands, the one to come on. A decent goal record, actually, Agnason. Another Salzburg corner is headed away. Regic has a go from the edge of the box and it comes loose! And it's tucked in on the rebound, and it is Konate! Cometh the hour, cometh Karim Konate, the Ivorian, announcing himself on the European stage for another season. Could this be the start of a big comeback year for Karim Konate? It's not the prettiest goal he'll ever score. It was made by the hard work of Regic. It's a good shot on target. And really, for the first time over the two legs, you can fault Robin Valinda. The curve of the ball meant that he ended up parrying it right back into a central position. And Konate, having missed just a moment ago, was not going to miss again. Salzburg have breathing space. Finally. Well, you can't see the relief on Danny Röhl's face, but I'm sure he's feeling it. 1-0 on the night, 2-0 crucially, 2-0 on aggregate, and Salzburg have a little bit of room. Mjällby will look to close that down, of course, right away. This is a driving run. It's Mazurek. Regic moving forward. Ball not cleared from the edge of the box. Salzburg have it back. Aidu, shot blocked. Away it'll go for a Salzburg throw. Well, I said Mazurek when I meant Regic, of course, but the two of them, both of them, have done great work carrying the ball forward for Salzburg tonight. It was Regic who's perhaps done the better of it. This time it is Mazurek, but he comes up short. Good bit of footwork, but no space in the box. Well, the crowd had been waiting an hour for that. And finally the Salzburg goal has come along. That changes the complexion of the remaining half hour for Mjällby. Konate tries to thread something through that was never really on. Well, he's got his goal, Karim Konate. Here's how he scored it. Regic with the shot. Valinder could only parry it back into the middle of the box. And Konate, quickest to react. Elation and plenty of relief mixed in there for Salzburg as well. They're looking good in this tie now at 2 goals to the good. Certainly not done and dusted yet. The onus was already on Mjällby to try and force their way back into this tie somehow. I said that getting 2 looked to be a tall order for a team who've barely tested Zamieszewski over the 2 legs. We've hardly seen anything of Christian Zamieszewski. Not even at home for Mjällby. Into the box goes Konate. Konate lays it back to the edge of the box. It's Barry who strikes it fiercely. It's blocked on the edge of the area. Schmidt gets the back heel but can't keep the ball. Now Mjällby can drive forward with Kier. Kier for the first time tonight looking to cause a bit of danger, but the pass across wasn't good enough and it's cut out. Salzburg with a chance on the counter. Baidu's the overlapping runner on the left. He's got teammates going forward. Baidu just pushed away on the edge of the area. Well, he just caught a little shove as he was off balance there, Baidu. Zamieszewski has just the smallest bit of work to do. Toni Miettinen, the defender up there, as Mjällby try and bring their attack to life one way or another. So Edmund Baidu stayed down after the shove on the edge of the box. Well, it was a palm push towards the chest by Jesper Gustafsson, but no real penalty appeals from Salzburg. Baidu just wasn't quite planted enough. Got ease off the ball. So Danny Röhl lining up some changes. Salzburg looking for a quick-fire second. That surely would kill the tie. It's looped over the top. Collard might get underneath it, and it's headed over and in. Incredible stuff from Salzburg, and they find that quick-fire second. Well, a tall order for Mjällby becomes a mountain to climb with that Salzburg second. 2 on the night, 3 on aggregate, and the floodgates have finally opened. Now, Karim Konate himself would probably be the first to admit that he's been a little bit rusty. But he's bagged a brace, and he's stuck to his task there. Baidu looping it over the top. Axel Noren getting caught underneath it, and Miettinen as well. And Valinder couldn't save the day, not this time for Mjällby. You could see from that angle, Konate did well to generate enough power on that header actually. He didn't just get something on it. He got enough on it to dart it past the gloves of the keeper and make sure that none of the defenders was able to get back and claw it away before it crossed the line. 3-0 on aggregate. Salzburg are looking good for that UEFA Europa League place. So Salzburg, perhaps you could say cruising now. How different the picture looks just 5 minutes later. From 1-0 and the tie on a knife edge to 3-0 on aggregate. And Salzburg heading for the UEFA Europa League phase, surely. We have seen many a remarkable comeback this week. But Mjällby have suggested in no way really that they're capable of getting 3 goals here tonight in the next 20 or so minutes. Mjällby will be stinging right now after conceding the 2 quick goals. But honestly, 3-0 is no less than Salzburg deserve if you take the 2 legs into account. Baidu and Bartosz Mazurek, the 2 players to be withdrawn. Comes Kitano, and the other change, it is the man who made that cameo on his debut a week ago against Mjällby. Toimchu getting another run out. Konate going for the hat-trick, it's blocked. It's the man who scored the brace, Karim Konate. He looks to be in some serious discomfort here. I don't know if he's cramping up or what's happening. He lies straight on the ground. Time for a Mjällby team huddle, having shipped 2 goals. It was always going to be a big ask for them this season, Mjällby, in fairness. Coming into their debut European campaign. Yes, they've dropped down through the qualifiers. They might fall all the way down into the Conference League, but maybe that's a really happy home for them for their first ever European campaign. Could be somewhere where they can make a bit of an impact, win some games, but at the moment, thoughts are with Karim Konate. He's going to be replaced here by Jorba Vertessen. The Belgian is just waiting to come on, but it does look as though Konate will be taken away on this stretcher. You've got to hope that it's nothing too serious. He had the shot blocked. I wonder if he's kicked awkwardly against the defender when the ball was blocked. It's not the case. Did he get studs caught in the turf after the shot, perhaps? Is it a bit of cramp? In any case, it's not looking good for Karim Konate. Hopefully he can get back to his feet. Here's a look at least at a happier moment for the young Ivorian. Getting the better of Mjällby and giving Salzburg the 2 or indeed 3 goal lead, depending on how you look at the score. 2 on the night, 3 on aggregate. Salzburg sitting pretty right now, thanks to the brace from Karim Konate, who can no longer continue. So good that he's sitting up at least, but a sad end to a decent evening for Karim Konate. 2 goals in 3 Bundesliga appearances this season, and now 2 in Europe as well. A really promising start to the campaign. 4 goals already in this young season. And he's got to stay injury-free. Fingers crossed that he can stay injury-free and that this is just a minor hiccup. So time has been added on by referee Pelletot for the stoppage. They'll play a bit more stoppage time. Mjällby trying to get something back and force extra time, which would be a real turn-up for the books if they can do that now. William Granat at least doing something. Confirmation of the change then as Yoba Vertessen does get on the field in place of Konate. It's going to be a change for Mjällby as well, as John Melbury made his way on for the Red Bulls. So Gustafsson withdrawn as Romeo Leandersson, the 18-year-old, comes on. Leandersson, the number 39, getting his 39th appearance in competitive fixtures for Mjällby. Vertessen, the fresh legs up front for Salzburg. He goes off on the hunt against Valinda. John Melbury. Nice moment for the Swede. Still only 20 years of age. Spent large parts of last season out with injury, John Melbury. Now back on the field against Swedish opposition, no less. That one just drifts over the touchline and out for a Mjällby throw. Well, he played 45 minutes in the off-season against Gornik Jabberkashire, John Melbury. His last competitive appearances were in the second division with FC Liefering, the Salzburg feeder team. They came back in May of 2026, so in terms of senior football, he spent a long time in the last 18 months or so out injured. Melbury, great to see him back on the field. Mjällby looking to fight their way back into this. Is there anything left in the tank for the Swedish champions? Miettinen. Pass down around the corner, but the offside flag was already up. It's Willem Dalsgaard, the 19-year-old attacker who came on in that last batch of changes for the visitors. Ludvig Svanberg was the other change. Nielsen, Gustafsson and Kjær have been withdrawn. Svanberg, Leandersson and Dalsgaard coming on for Mjällby. And it is a long, long way back now. How much belief, how much hope is still left for the Swedes? It's a valid question, and you wouldn't judge them too much if they had really given up in believing in this tie. It's not an all or nothing fixture. Of course, in an ideal world, everybody would scrap and work just as hard, just the same, whatever the game. But for the loser of this tie, the Conference League phase was always going to be a really decent consolation prize. Still a European League phase, still a proper European campaign beyond the qualifiers, still a good few million euro of prize money from UEFA to come along with it, and potentially some big European nights. One feels that Mjällby might not be too unhappy in the Conference League after all. Salzburg, over the two legs so far, have certainly proven that they are the more worthy team to be moving on to the UEFA Europa League. They really battled hard to get past Paphos in the last round as well, Red Bull Salzburg. That is wonderful touch, wonderful control from Quitano Sota. Not often you hear a first touch draw such a gasp from the crowd. But it was acrobatic, it was audacious, and it was executed to perfection. That through ball, not bad either. Across the middle it goes, and it's tucked in for three. Haris Tabakovic, his phenomenal European form continues. Goal number 5 of this qualifying campaign for the Bosnian striker, and he won't get many easier than that. Well, Quitano's control may have drawn the gasps from the crowd, but it also kept the ball with Salzburg, and eventually led to this wonderful through ball from the midfielder himself. Weighted to perfection. It stayed in. Valinda was in two minds as Vertessen ran in towards it. Actually cut it back. The touch here comes from the keeper. And Tabakovic only had Axel Norgren, the stricken defender, to beat. Well, Quitano Sota won't get an assist in the official record books for that third goal. But boy, it was certainly about him. Supreme touch to keep the ball in play, and then a wonderfully weighted pass down towards the byline. The cutback from Vrachnik was a good one. Valinda with another little blot on his copybook, but it's hard to criticise the Mjällby goalkeeper in any way, really. Even having conceded 4, he's been so good across the two legs. And somebody else who's been excellent across the two is Damir Regic. It's the end of the day for him. On comes Kamara. Aboubakar Kamara, the young man from Burkina Faso, just 19 years of age. Brilliant scoring record with feeder team Liefering. New really this season in the senior setup. He's only got about 100 senior minutes under his belt. It's a chance to learn, a chance to gain valuable first team experience for the likes of Aboubakar Kamara every time Salzburg are able to bring him on. And Danny Röhl has seen fit. 3 goals to the good, 4-0 on aggregate. Played well actually, even at 0-0 in the first leg, so he was trusted, Aboubakar Kamara. Not just one of those players that you purely wait until you feel comfortable to bring them on. Abu Barry. He's going to be pivotal to Salzburg's chances this season, Abu Barry, in both League, Cup and, as everything suggests, UEFA Europa League. I'm sure the only thing that Danny Röhl will really be criticising his team for is the fact that it took so long to get ahead tonight on home turf. The hope was that Salzburg could kill off the tie earlier, dominate the first half and get some goals, but in both legs they dominated the first half without scoring. Just leaves games like these always dangerous. Sarashitsky makes his best save of either of the two legs as he has to get down to a sharp low shot. Mjällby muster something on target at least. That one had a lot more on it than the last one early in the second half when Sarashitsky simply had to get behind a shot from range that was very, very central. That one was a lot closer to the bottom corner. Well, perhaps now with the drama taken out of the tie, the fans in Salzburg, the fans watching around the world, wherever you're viewing this, hopefully you can enjoy it. Salzburg will surely not be caught from this position. They have an unassailable lead and they'll try and grow it before the end and head off to the Europa League with a flourish. It's been a really positive evening. Still more work to be done, but Danny Röhl knew that there was a task on his hands this season. The Salzburg team, they've got room to grow during this campaign. They've got the express goal of bringing trophies back to Salzburg. A good European run on top of that. Well, it could be career-defining, career-changing for some of these young players, and it could be very big indeed for Red Bull Salzburg as they look to re-establish their place at the top of Austrian domestic football. The pass out to the right, chance maybe for a cross from wide right. Salzburg will keep hold of it. They've got Mjällby where they want them now. 5 minutes to go, plus a bit of stoppage time. Can the Salzburg players just build a bit more confidence, string together a few more cohesive moves, cut through the Mjällby defence again? They couldn't find the efficiency early on. They found it now. Are they going to let up, or are they going to keep going and push for more before the end of this one? Kitano, well-weighted ball again, this time to Vertessen. Vertessen onto the right foot, looks for the return run of Kitano Sota. He certainly belongs in the category of players, Kitano. It is brilliant to bring on from the bench, but also somebody you feel could be a changer in the starting 11. Into the box it goes. It's held up well, the back heel pass. Well, it nearly fell for a white shirt. It was right between two of them. And it's hurriedly hacked away to safety. Salzburg fans, you can start to dream of the likes of Juventus, Marseille, Lyon, Olympiacos, AC Milan, Benfica perhaps, Bayer Leverkusen perhaps. There's some big teams in pot one of the UEFA Europa League draw. That draw, by the way, taking place this Friday, tomorrow in Monaco. It's 1 o'clock Central European time that the Europa League draw will start, and Danny Röhl pretty much knows by now that his side are going to be in it. It's always a really exciting part of the season, especially when you've battled through the qualifiers, you've earned your place in that pot, you've got your name in the hat, and you can just sit back and see who comes out, see which teams you're going to play against. Salzburg will have 8 European nights in the UEFA Europa League. Mjällby will enjoy a couple fewer in the Conference League. Camara chasing down that left flank. Still plenty at stake for the likes of Camara, yet to get his first senior goal. Could really be a night to remember if he's able to get that. Time running out now, but Salzburg are counting down the seconds until this tie is over and decided very much in their favour by this second half flurry that we've seen tonight. Konate with a brace before being taken off on a stretcher, unfortunately. We'll await news of his condition, but hopefully nothing too serious. Pulled up after a shot, no contact from a defender. Tabakovic finding yet another European goal, his 5th across just 2 qualifying ties. Played both legs against Paphos, scored 4 in that 3rd round contest, and then another one now against Mjällby. What a start to life at Red Bull Salzburg it has been for Haris Tabakovic. And 90 minutes are up here at the Red Bull Arena. We've got 2 additional minutes to be played in terms of stoppage time. Salzburg are going to win on the night, and they're going to win over 2 legs. They're going to add some points to the coefficient for Austria. It's a great way to go into the Europa League with the confidence of these 2 games behind them. They had a real battle against Paphos. The first game at home disrupted by a 2-hour-long rain break. The pitch unplayable amidst a torrential rainstorm. Salzburg still somehow had the composure to battle away and win that 1-0, and then Paphos away was always going to be a real challenge. They scored twice, Paphos, to get themselves ahead in the tie. They looked to be in the driving seat, but Salzburg had other ideas. Tabakovic had other ideas. A Haris Tabakovic hat-trick, eventually pulling the Red Bulls through to this tie. And they never looked back. They dominated at Strandvallen a week ago, and were unlucky really to come away with just a 1-0 victory, thanks to that late Pettersson own goal. And they were frustrated for an hour tonight, but once they hit the front, it was job done. Unless they score in the next 30 seconds, this little happy tradition at Salzburg of Danny Röhl time is not going to continue. They've actually scored 5 goals after the 85th minute this season. Is there another one in store here? That was handball surely by Miettinen. It's unlucky for the Salzburg break. Pettersson was carrying the ball away. I don't think Miettinen really knew anything about it. The pass was switched back to that right flank. It could have been a dangerous break, but Salzburg will keep control of the ball, and the referee will bring this tie to an end in Salzburg's favour. Red Bull Salzburg have successfully navigated the qualifiers at the start of what looks to be a crucial season, and Danny Röhl will be taking this team to the UEFA Europa League. He can look forward, and they can look forward to seeing which 8 European ties await when the draw is made in Monaco tomorrow afternoon. Salzburg, in the end, have fought past a stubborn Mjällby side, and they've won 3-0 on the night, and by 4-0 on aggregate. Tabakovic scoring again in Europe. He shakes the hand of Mjällby goalkeeper Robin Wallinder, who kept his team right in this contest until an hour into the second leg here. Wallinder with a number of stunning stops to keep Salzburg from pulling away. but Konaté's brace made all the difference, and Salzburg never looked back. Good to see Konaté still there on the bench. His injury may be more to do with cramp than anything serious. That's what we hope for. That's what we keep our fingers crossed for. But now we can also keep our fingers crossed for the draw, because Salzburg have got their name into the Europa League hat. They've beaten Mjällby by 4-0. My name's Tom Midler. It's been my pleasure to commentate over the two legs of this game. Salzburg worthy winners in the end. The Swedish champions Mjällby defeated both home and away. It's Red Bull Salzburg who are off to the UEFA Europa League. For Mjällby, their maiden European campaign will be in the UEFA Conference League instead. But from the Red Bull Arena in Salzburg, it's good night from me, and thanks for watching. We'll see you in Europe for another Salzburg season in the Europa League. Good night.
Som Jesus ska vi jump.